What's up everybody, Soul here with another Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles video, and today we're going to be taking a look at a couple combos that will benefit your gameplay and potentially make the game a ton more fun for you and carry you all the way towards the end of the game. These are some fun combos that I've enjoyed utilizing in the past, and yeah, I can't wait to share them with you. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. First, let's take a look at the job combo Knight Mystic. With this job combo, it's a ton of fun. You won't need magic attack to really benefit from this combo. What you just need is some decent faith and MP, and that is it. So make sure when you're putting on your equipment to target those two stats, well, the MP, and then of course get some decent faith on that character. Debuffing your enemies as they run up to you and then breaking their equipment while you're tanking is pretty fantastic fun, and honestly is a job combo that I think is undervalued. I used it in the past, ton of fun, really good, and it enabled my tank to really hold ground into crowd control, and it was good stuff. For that, you probably want to run the abilities Mana Shield or Counter if you'd prefer, Defense Boost or Swiftness if you want faster casting, and then Mana Font to make sure that you have plenty of MP for those casts. This is a really fun job combo that I could highly recommend. The next job combo that I could recommend is Thief and Dragoon. So with Dragoon, you're jumping off the map where you're not targeted by your opponents, you can't be slapped and hit, but you want to make sure that that jump lands on its target within decent time, and you need speed to ensure that happens. Their jump ability is dependent and reliant on speed, and Thief provides that speed. You could argue that Ninja is better, however, you don't get steal opportunities with Ninja, and I think Thief holds more utility overall because steal is so useful in the game. So Thief Dragoon is what I would suggest you to run for that steal combo if you're absolutely wanting to jump on your enemies' heads in the process. So with that said, you want to use as your reaction skill Shira Hadori. You want to make sure you're running Equip Polearm as your support ability, and then you want to make sure you're running Ignore Elevation as your movement ability. The next jump combo that I'm going to recommend is Black Mage Samurai. That's right, if you're not familiar with this game, you might not realize it, but Samurai, while a really cool class that absolutely uses swords, it is highly dependent on magical damage. And the Black Mage, well, the Black Mage comes in and destroys and smacks everything magically. So with a really high magical stat growth from the Black Mage, and then your Samurai utilizing attack damage from magical attacks, you have a natural pairing made in the clouds. With that said, you also get to use those draw out abilities with Samurai, which do not require MP and is absolutely massive for that reason. So you're dealing tons of magic damage, but without having to spend the MP to do so. It does require you to be near the enemy, and that can be kind of a double-edged sword, but it's definitely worth it. You'll see some pretty insane results for this job combination. With that said, let your Black Mage run across the map, destroying enemies with those draw out abilities. Then it also gives your Black Mage the ability to heal, cast Shell and Protect, and regen and haste with the right Samurai swords. And let me just say, Chirahiraden, I probably said that wrong, but anyways, is an insanely strong ability that can wreck everything. Use Magic Counter as your reaction ability, Arcane Strength, and Teleport as your movement ability. Next job combo I'm going to cover is Ninja Monk. Here it is. Monk has insane skills and abilities that are incredibly useful, and from heals, giving MP back, and also great damage, AoE damage, range damage, and then you're also going to be able to have some elemental damage in there. Really good stuff. Throwing on a ninja who's able to equip all equipment slots, has great speed, and of course dual wield, and you have an insane character combo that can just honestly run through everything. It feels really good to run this combo as you squeenix your character, running through the map, double tapping everything in your path. Monk has a lot of really good utility with their abilities, as I've already said, and Ninja just really drives it home with its speed and attack and hitting twice. It's just really, really fun. Good combo with great mobility. You're able to get in and behind and around. It's satisfying. With that said, you want to run First Strike as your reaction, Attack Boost as your support, and Move +3 for your movement ability. Next is a timeless classic of job combos, and that is the White Mage, Time Mage. Simple, sweet, and effective. Everyone loves haste, and it's an amazing spell that should absolutely be utilized in this game. With all the coverage of great heals, raises, and buffs from your White Mage, Time Mage offers some debuffs, ways to stop, slow your enemies, and then of course another way to attack other than Holy with Meteor. You also pick up some really good abilities through your Time Mage that will enable your White Mage to act more quickly, especially in those vital moments where something is happening and you absolutely have to get in and heal them ASAP. With that said, you want to use Critical Quick as your reaction, Swiftness as your support, and Teleport as your movement ability. The next job combo I'm going to cover is Mediator, Chemist. Man, this is a fantastic job combo that really makes me feel comfortable, has a ton of utility, and is just a fantastic thing to have in your pocket. With that said, you have great range support, and as far as attacks, status effects, and even healing. You can talk to animals, slap enemies around with elemental guns, the whole kit and caboodle. You get Chantage and a ribbon on that character, and suddenly they're impervious of everything with that auto regen, auto re-raise, and then immunity to any and all status effects. You just can't say enough good about it. Your concerns are as good as gone, and you're going to be safe and secure. It's really useful for poaching and finding items too. Just keep your brave low on this character to help ensure that you find those items. With that said, you want to use Auto Potion as your action, Throw Items or Poach as your support, and Treasure Hunter or Move +2 as your movement abilities. Of course, I am suggesting that you keep this job combo female, but you don't have to. The next job combo I'm going to recommend is Geomancer, Dancer. Keep her in the back and let her rain debuffs on your enemies, gimping their ability to fight. Dancing and debuffing your enemies without being touched is a ton of fun. They try to approach, they get whittled down, whittled away, and the rest of your team just cleans them up. Don't let this character with this combo near the front line. Keep them well and away from everything, and when you're equipping your items, try to target a high physical attack if possible. With that said, you want to use Soulbind as a reaction. Nature's Wrath is a good secondary, and then Arcane Strength as your support ability, and then Mana Font for your movement ability. And of course, another option is Fly, but it is insanely expensive with that JP boost, but it is probably the best in slot as far as that movement ability. The next job combo that I'm going to recommend is one that I know a lot of people absolutely love, and that is Summoner Arithmetician, better known as Calculator. This job combo is absolutely bonkers. It has to come on the list and be mentioned because Calculator can do some really, really insane things, and of course Summoner gives you the ability to smack everything on the map, around, this, that, and the third. Really, really useful stuff. Calculator is a ton of fun. Summoner also can be a ton of fun. Both of these jobs are heavy JP intensive, so you're going to be doing a whole bunch of JP farming to get this job combo. But once you finally reach that and you have the understanding of how Calculator works with with all the different numbers and stats and different ways to target those things, you're going to have a blast with this. You're going to destroy everything on the map very quickly. Just destroy melting content. It can be a ton of fun. It's not something that I particularly enjoy, but it's definitely a classic that a lot of Final Fantasy Tactics fans pivot back to and always want to run. With that said, you want to run critical recover MP as your reaction, half MP as your support ability, and teleport as your movement ability. Next up is Monk Geomancer as a job combo. This job combo is a ton of fun. As I have said before, Monk has so much in their kit where they can do a ton of different things as far as damage and decent abilities to do so. It is phenomenal. Geomancer gives them more options, ways to debuff and hit magically at range, pretty decent stuff. And Monk, of course, is self-charging battery as far as HP and MP, and so you don't necessarily have to get close. You can whittle your enemies down while debuffing them, and what can I say? It's absolutely phenomenal. With that said, throw on a little bit more, say equip heavy armor if you want to be bulky and get into the fray, and man, you have a way to do so. Do great debuffs, messing up your opponents near and far, as well as waylaying them as a monk. Just too much here to talk about. Ton of fun. This is a highly versatile job combo in my opinion. With that said, you want to use First Strike as your reaction, attack boost or equip heavy armor as your support, depending on what you prefer, whether to do more damage or to be more bulky. And then I would run move +3 as your movement ability. Of course, I am suggesting that you use this job combo with your male units. The next job combo I'm going to recommend is Ninja Thief. So stealing is king in Final Fantasy Tactics, and that's no different in Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles. You're going to come across some really incredibly rare equipment or powerful equipment, or maybe just equipment that's ahead of your current options in shop, and so you're going to want to steal, and you're going to want to steal a lot. And so Ninja is bringing the speed to make that happen in an unparalleled way. So you tack on Thief on there for those steal abilities, and then Ninja with all the utility and be able to hit twice and this, that, and the third. Can't say enough good about it. This is the way to go for your stealing character in my opinion. Of course you want to get that Brave up so that they can do some pretty insane stuff, but once that Brave's up and you got that speed up, you're going to be stealing galore. Now, Final Fantasy Tactics veterans will come in and argue that Monk Thief is probably the most superior way to steal in some people's minds, because they got that brawler ability, as well as you can stack on that attack boost, and that's fantastic. But I don't think that it is better than Ninja Thief, because Ninja Thief does scale with speed, and what else scales with speed? Turn order. And so you're going to be able to act more often and have more attempts at stealing, and of course have high success rates at that with Ninja Thief. So I do think that overall it is superior to Monk Thief for that reason. You're going to want to use Shira Hadori as your reaction, or Sticky Fingers if you want to have that, because then you do want to catch weapons. This is a way that you can utilize that with this character. Absolutely fantastic. And then of course, as your support ability, you want to use attack boost to increase your steal chances, or you can run poach if you want to be a poacher and poach enemies and whatnot, which I highly recommend. And then move +3 as your movement ability. Of course, that can be changed. You want something crazy like teleporting, go crazy. But move +3 is super duper solid and consistent, and what I would recommend you to go with. The next job combo I'd recommend is Archer Knight. And so ranged breaks are unbelievably useful in Final Fantasy Tactics. No more needs to be said past that. But we'll go further. You deal good damage at a range, and then of course you have the option to weaken your enemies instead and break their equipment. Unbelievably useful. Put a gun on them for some extra fun and extra, I guess, accuracy. I don't know. Whatever you want, it's going to be phenomenal. Now, you could argue Chemist Knight for that reason can do the same job, but with more utility. However, it will have less damage in my opinion. I do like the ability just to switch it up, do a little bit of a charge for some extra damage, and not just be limited to those simple breaks, but having those items in hand can be useful. Archer Knight is still pretty daggum phenomenal in my opinion. What I would recommend you using is Soulbind Reaction, and then of course support, equip gun, and then your movement being ignore elevation so that you can get in perfect positions. Rounding up our list with the final job combo is Mystic Samurai. This job combo is pretty insane in the right setting, and just like Black Mage Samurai, it does magical damage through and through. Can't say enough about this. The difference between Black Mage Samurai is that Mystic has the ability to use poles, which means they can attack from 2 tiles away and with a weapon that deals magical damage, which of course is scaling off of their stat growths. Pretty insane stuff. On top of that, you're getting all those samurai abilities, casting them, doing all the damage, getting all the goodness out of it. Can't say enough good. Absolutely phenomenal. And of course this goes even harder when you throw double hand on your Mystic. Really, really good stuff. With that said, that's what I would recommend. You want to use First Strike as your reaction, Double Hand as your support ability, and then of course Monofont as your movement ability. That way you're replenishing your MP as you consistently march your death parade towards your enemies. And so there you have it. Those are all the job combos that I can recommend off the top of my head in my experience. There of course are a limitless number just about of what you can do as far as job combos and the different abilities in different places. If you see something that makes your ticker tick, try it. If you enjoy something over something else, do it. It is your game. Play it the way you want. There's no meta here. So experiment, try different things, and enjoy it to the nth degree. It doesn't matter what it is. You want to be a white mage that uses jump, throw on that Holy Lance and go to town. There's plenty of people that have done it, myself included, and it's a ton of fun. And that's how this game is meant to be played. This is simply a recommendation list based on my experiences to help players that might not have a good idea of what they want to do. Maybe they're uncertain, or maybe they don't have experience with the game, and so they would enjoy it more if they had something to base it all off of. With that said, drop down in the comments. Put down your desired job combos or things that you enjoyed the most so that other players can see it and gain value out of that, and everybody can enjoy this awesome game that is Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles. Let's get together, let's talk about it, so that way everybody gets to benefit and enjoy this masterpiece. With that said, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you drop me a like and subscribe as it really helps out. And by the way, huge shout out to my Patreon members. I really appreciate you guys and gals. Your names are in the pool. You are part of my playthrough in Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles, which of course I am posting here on this channel. If you're interested in being in that pool and having a part in my story in Ivalice Chronicles, make sure you check that out and join us. With that said, thank you again. I really appreciate the support. And until next time, I will catch you later. Bye.